And this is Remembering October 7th. 2 years ago today, Hamas launched a barbaric and unprovoked assault on Israel, slaughtering innocent men, women, and children, then parading their victims' bodies through the street in celebration. This evil cannot stand, and anti-Semitism must be outright condemned and confronted. Israel has every right to defend itself, and I'm grateful President Trump has taken decisive action to restore peace, return the hostages, and end Hamas's reign of terror through an emerging ceasefire and peace deal. I remain committed to supporting President Trump's work to ensure an atrocity like October 7th, 2023 never happens again. And that came from Rep. August Pfluger. And I'm sure Trump kept saying in his True Social post that we need to get this done fast. We have to act fast as far as getting the hostages released, because he didn't come out and say it, at least not as far as I saw. But I think he wanted the hostages released today, just because of the whole marking the anniversary and everything. Like, it would have just tied it up a lot nicer, and it would have been more dramatic, I think, if that were to happen. But I don't believe they've been released just yet, but they're still working on it. Last I heard, Hamas, they're still in Egypt, iron out the details of their surrender. So I'm still waiting to see what happens with that. And this comes from the White House just now in the Oval Office, well, 8 hours ago. I think there's a possibility we could have peace in the Middle East. Trump on peace in Gaza. Literally every country in the world has supported the plan. Let's hear this from President Trump.
Very serious negotiations to, I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years. You could say 500 years. You could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen.
All right. Well, I'm assuming that Canada is on board with it. That's the Prime Minister, Carney. And on the other hand, though, Canada and some other countries, they voted to recognize Palestine as a sovereign nation or something like that. I might be getting that a little wrong. I'm pretty sure that Canada did vote on that. That had to do with the UN Assembly and all that shit. Anyway, the White House must read from the Ohad Ben Ami on Fox News. From October 7, captivity to freedom. President Trump saved me, and I believe he can free the remaining hostages. And let me just double check this. Should be an article here. Yeah, okay, so here we go. From the October 7th, captivity to freedom. President Trump saved me, and I believe he can free the remaining hostages. Let me see if there's a video. Let's see. Trump with talks. You know what? I'm going to play this real quick just because I haven't heard his take on it just yet today, other than that video that he had with Carney in the Oval Office.
We've got a Fox News alert. Minutes ago, President Trump has just arrived back at the White House and spoke to reporters. Here's what he had to say.
Are you going to set a deadline for Hamas to release the hostages?
Yeah, we're going to very quickly.
Deadline.
We had some very good meetings. The countries of the world, a lot of the countries surrounding Israel, frankly, Muslim, Arab, and many others, have had great meetings with Hamas, and it looks like it's working. So we'll wait for a little while, see how it all turns out.
When will the administration begin firing
It'll work very quickly. I think it's going to go very quickly. The meetings seem to be very good. We'll find out. We'll let you know soon.
When will the administration begin?
The rebels in DRC, Democratic Republic of the Congo, they continue to kill
In
a lot
Congo?
Yeah, they continue to
Well, we're
kill.
looking into that. We've heard
What
that.
about the ceasefire?
We're going to look at that, yeah.
Mr. President, you said there was an attack yesterday night in the Caribbean. Could you give more details about that?
My people will give you those details.
Oh, wait, there's another strike
When will the administration begin
in the Caribbean?
firing federal employees during this government
That's
shutdown?
taking place right now, and it's all because of the Democrats. The Democrats are causing the loss of a lot of jobs with their, it's a shutdown. It's their shutdown, not our shutdown. It's their shutdown.
What agencies
No,
did
And I
Republicans
hope
voted to
everybody
keep it
likes
open.
what's the Presidential Walk
voted
of
for the
Fame.
spending
You know
bill.
that? Have you seen the? It's beautiful, isn't it? Presidential Walk of Fame. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations
Yeah, take a look at
to
Biden's
the
picture.
Navy. They did a great job today. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
What agencies
And he was rapid fire in answering those questions.
We've got
no,
a
no,
Fox
no, no,
News
no,
alert.
no.
Minutes ago, President
No, I don't want to play it again. Damn it. All right. Yeah, man, he was answering those quick. By the way, the Presidential Walk of Fame, if you have a chance to check it out online, it's got all of the presidents, of course, on a part of the walkway. I think it's by the West Wing, and Joe Biden's picture is not of Joe Biden. It's of the auto pen machine signing Joe Biden's name. I thought when they were showing it initially, the video that I saw of it, I thought that it was going to be just pointing out the hilarity that Joe Biden is sandwiched in between two pictures of Trump. But no, they went a totally different direction, and they just included an image of the auto pen machine. So anyway, this is in regard to this man who was taken hostage by Hamas, and he was held hostage for, 491 days. So anyway, 2 years ago on October 7th, I was kidnapped from my home in Kibbutz Be'eri in my pajamas by Hamas terrorists. My wife, Raz, and I were ripped from our lives and dragged into Gaza. I was released in February of 2025 after 491 days in captivity, but 48 hostages remain in Hamas's hands. My nightmare is not over. It won't be over until they all come home. And now, finally, there is hope. President Donald Trump has brought forth a historic deal to bring all 48 hostages home, the living and the deceased, to end this war and end the suffering for our people. After so much pain, we finally have a real chance. But with that hope comes fear. We have seen opportunities collapse before. The deal has not been signed yet. I know what is at stake. I know what those hostages are enduring right now because I lived it. I believe I actually have a video clip of this too, by the way. So 2 years have passed since Hamas terrorists invaded our homes, murdered hundreds of innocent people, and kidnapped men, women, and children, and the elderly. That Shabbat morning started like any other. By the end of the day, Roz and I were hostages. When Roz was released in November of 23, I thought maybe my turn would come soon. Instead, I was taken to the tunnels 30 meters underground in total darkness with no air, barely any food or water, no medical care. This became my life for over a year. Fuck, man. I wasn't alone down there. I was held with 5 other hostages, Elkanah Bobat, Maksum Harkin, Segev Kalfan, Yosef Ohana, and Bar Cooperstein. They became like sons to me, and I became a father figure to them. We needed each other to survive. The 6 of us shared a cell meant for 3. We dug with our bare hands in the dirt to make places to sleep. Every request from our captors required hours of discussion among ourselves because the consequences were severe. Ask for pita bread and get refused. They would beat us, forbid us from asking for anything for 2 weeks. So we deliberated carefully. Everyone had a voice, and we voted. Well, plus that was just simply a way to pass the time, too, I'm sure. I was afraid for my life every single day. Hamas told us clearly if the IDF gets close, they will shoot us at point-blank range. Once, a terrorist forced me to decide which hostages would get a bullet in the head and which in the knee. Oh my God, dude. For hours, they made us beg for our lives, shaking and crying. On day 270, terrorists stormed in and beat us for 3 days straight. One guard told me, I hate you. If they order me to kill you, I won't use a gun. I'll use a knife. God damn, these motherfuckers, man. As time passed, we started to lose hope. That's when survival becomes almost impossible. What gave me strength was seeing our people back home fighting for us. And just knowing that if they sign this peace deal, that all of these fuckers are going to get amnesty. They're just going to be given their freedom, and they're going to be allowed to travel to whichever country they want that's willing to accept them. It's just fucking appalling. But I mean, I guess there's really no other way because they got the upper hand, at least with regard to the hostages. So he goes on to say, I was released in February of 25. I have lost 77 pounds. In those first days of freedom, everything felt unreal, but one moment stands out. I had the profound honor of meeting President Trump, the man who saved me, who made it possible for me to be reunited with my wife and daughters. He expressed his unwavering commitment to bring all the hostages home. I thank him for my freedom and for never giving up on those still in captivity. If anyone deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, it is him for everything he has done for us and for continuing to fight to make sure all the hostages come back home. I would, even in the face of all of this, I would still be surprised if they gave him the Peace Prize, but he is 100% correct. With all these peace deals he's made, there is no other person that deserves it more than President Trump, hands down. But freedom doesn't mean the nightmare is over. I still wake up at night and touch the walls, checking that they're not concrete, that I'm not in the tunnels, but then I remember they are still there. When I open the refrigerator and take out food, I think about how they have nothing. So yeah, so that's an image of him right here, the guy who's telling the story. In a cruel propaganda video released by Hamas months ago, Elkanah and Yosef spoke directly to me, begging me to do everything I can to get them out of hell. Until all 48 hostages come out, the living and the deceased, I cannot continue with my life. And it finishes up here. Since my release, I have witnessed many negotiations come and go. This time, it must happen. The world must make sure this deal comes to fruition. I know better than anyone the cost of every additional day in captivity. They won't make it in there for much longer. My friends won't make it in there for much longer. I lived through 491 days of Hamas cruelty. I know exactly what every additional hour means for those still underground. The release of all 48 hostages must come first. The world is watching. Every day matters. Every hour counts. Wow, man. Absolutely just unbelievable. All right, so let's go to the next post here. So this comes also from, so that came from the White House. This one does too. Today, on the second anniversary of the October 7th attack, President Trump welcomed Aiden Alexander, who was held hostage by Hamas for 584 days, and the family of Omer Nutra to the Oval Office. President Trump is committed to bringing every hostage home. And there's the images here of, the hostages that were in captivity. I'm honestly not sure which one, who was who. So anyway, I'm going to go on to the next topic here from Newsmax. We have the first opportunity for real peace in this comprehensive peace plan. Senator John Fetterman expressed hope for peace in the Middle East on the anniversary of the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack on Israel. On Tuesdays, The Record with Greta Van Susteren. So we're going to check this out. John Fetterman.
Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman
happens
joins
to be the
me.
most
Good
base
evening,
Democrat,
sir.
in my opinion.
I don't know.
Even though I don't have very much respect for him for not wearing a fucking suit, dude. Wear a damn
What's
suit.
going to happen with these negotiations? But I'll tell you one thing. We're never going to hear, and neither is Israel, from Hamas, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I mean...
that ain't going to happen.
One thing that you're not going to see is a lot of these protesters that have been doing that for the last 2 years, they're not protesting to demand Hamas to accept that peace deal. And I mean, I've watched that video. I've seen that video and those imagery. I've actually visited all those sites and saw that, and they filmed it. They filmed that, and that kind of evil.
Oh yeah, we saw a lot of that shit.
The things they've done.
Pretty much as it was happening.
Children, they've raped women, executed civilians like that.
It still boggles my fucking mind that they were still able to carry this out, that they didn't have the border just guarded at all. It just absolutely blows my mind that they were just capable of even getting into Israel and even doing this in the first place. It's unreal, man.
They just have to burn that kind of evil off the face of the earth. Now,
I mean, where the fuck was the IDF when all this was happening? I mean, you'd think they'd be storming in by the thousands, but I guess not.
Proud of it and for those things, so you can't.
What do I know? I don't
with it, and that's why it's entirely appropriate to destroy Hamas and kill all of the leadership that were responsible for it, as they've done.
I think, I've seen the same video. I've walked the same place. So you have a different time. And I think that's why you and I are in so much agreement. We're 100% in agreement on this, because I think any decent human being seeing what we saw and watching that tape, I do not see how anyone could possibly have a different view on this.
No, I mean, that should be mandatory to watch that. If you're going to protest and for pro-Hamas or these kind of things, watch that video.
Oh, yeah.
You really can.
There's a lot of far leftists and Democrats are doing.
Who you are actually advocating.
Standing for Palestine.
And the kinds of people that they really are. I've actually walked through
fucking
these.
Savages.
I had the honor of meeting Noah, that iconic clip of she being pulled away from Nova and things. So those are the true heroes. I don't know how all these hostages are able to survive. They have been
it's unreal.
now for 2 years. Tortured, beaten, and even forced to dig their own graves. And a lot of the media has normalized this kinds of thing. I'll never understand how we all can't just be very clear. We're going to stand firmly with Israel's side, and all of the trauma in Gaza.
Your party. It's your party, man.
For Hamas to surrender, send all of them home, and there'd be an opportunity for real peace, but they refuse to do that. Because it is nothing more than a death cult, and now it's just the point. That's why you have to destroy it.
Well, the thing is that everyone, the people are protesting, say they're some of them is, although a lot of them are not, but for Palestinians. And I just don't think I think a lot of people have forgotten things. For instance, I did a little research today because UNRWA, which is the organization the United States has been funding through the United Nations since the late 40s, is that at least 12 UNRWA staff had direct involvement in the October 7th attacks. That's what we financed to try to help feed these people who were living in squalor. There was
That's
at
true.
least there was another hostage held nearly 50 days in the attic of an UNRWA teacher's home who also had a father of 10. And the family was getting fed while this hostage was being starved. There was another one who was held. She was detained in multiple UNRWA facilities in Gaza. She was shot, denied medical care, and it goes on and on. I mean, there were Hamas may have been the starters on this, but there were a lot of sympathizers of Palestinians, and a lot of them were actually helping.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course. I mean, and now you brought up the UN. The UN has just become incredibly anti-Israel throughout all this. It's just crazy.
I know, it's unreal, man.
Absolutely. And now look at a lot of the media outlets as well too, and the way they describe these kind of circumstances. And now again, I can't imagine why we could support this and not just call this exactly what this is. And now.
Well, and your party's pretty unified.
First opportunity for real peace.
They become pretty anti-Israel.
Peace plan,
which is quite ironic because a lot of big-time multi-millionaire, probably billionaire donors happen to be Jewish, and they've been donating to Democrats for many, many years.
As a
kind of blows my mind.
I absolutely support that and actually celebrate that because here we could actually have a peace. I mean, whether that becomes from their current president, just because it's a different party, I'm going to follow Israel, and now. This is the first opportunity for real peace and to send all those poor souls home after being held underground for 2 years.
And of course, the poor souls are coming home. Those are the ones from October 7th. Is in order to get them home, Israel's got to release hundreds and hundreds of Palestinian who've been doing unthinkable things. They've had civil trials for murder. One killed 5 people. I mean, they are releasing very terrible people to get those people home.
It's disgusting that Israel is forced to do that. I mean, literally, they are proud and they killed innocent civilians. But I do hope Israel never forgets, and I hope they take them out at some point as they continue to. So I don't think they ever forget and they ever forgive what they've done against innocent civilians.
No, I can't blame him.
Well, I hope that nobody forgets, and I hope some people even learn about what happened.
It was like 1,200
before they hit the streets protesting. Senator John Fetterman, thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. I mean, it's a very sad day, but I'm very proud to remain firmly on the side of Israel.
Well, you know why I call you up? I mean, you know why I want you on the show is because, I know that because you've seen it, and and you have a very powerful position and a very strong voice. So thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, there you go.
People think
very, very awful, and it's really appalling that just knowing that all of these people that are engaged with holding them captive for 2 years are just going to get away with it. They're just going to get away with it. So, and just I can only imagine what they're doing to the hostages right now, just knowing that they're assuming they're going to be released in a few days and that they're just going to get away, they can do whatever the hell they want to do with the hostages and they're not going to go to jail for it because they're signing this deal. I don't even want to think about what the fuck they might be doing to them right now. It's just, it's unreal, man.